Hi everybody, today I'm joined by Joe Lavers from Wendy Wu Tours. They are the UK's leading Asia tour specialist, and throughout November are promoting their superb escorted tours as they are celebrating 26 years by offering free flights on 26 of their most popular tours. It's saving you up to £800 per person, which is a brilliant offer, and they are superb tours, so please don't miss out on this offer. It's available on tours in Vietnam, Cambodia, Japan, China, India and South America, so a huge range of tours for you to choose from. So you can book on a group escorted tour, but if you're traveling alone, they do have dedicated solo departures. So you're going to travel with lots of other people that are also traveling alone as well. And the free flight offer applies to those as well. So I've had a few questions from solo travellers that are interested in the tours, which is why I've invited Joe along to have a chat with me today. So over to you, Joe, if you want to introduce yourself and Wendy Wu Tours.
Yeah, thanks, Jill. As Jill said, my name's Joe Lavers. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager for Wendy Wu Tours. And I've been lucky enough to travel on Wendy Wu Tours to a number of our destinations. And we really do have a fantastic offering. Our customer satisfaction ratio is incredibly high at 97%, but you don't have to just take my word for it. Of course, I get paid to say this. So you can actually just check with Jill. She's booked people on our tours and had fantastic feedback. Look at our TripAdvisor ratings, gold trusted service on FIFO. You don't get to be a successful company like Wendy Wu Tours are without providing fantastic trips. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Just one thing on the 26 free flights offer on the 26 tours that we've got. One destination you did miss out. We don't have a solo offering on it, but that's all right, it's no problem. We've got a fantastic tour in the Middle East, which is doing Egypt, Israel and Jordan. It's a 25-day tour. We've got free flights on that as well. So, and I've been to all three of those destinations and they're stunning. But let me hand over to you, Jill, otherwise I'll end up talking all day long.
That's all right. That's why I've invited you along. So I think your offering for solo travellers is brilliant. It's really, really comprehensive. So why do you think Wendy Wu Tours is perfect for solo travellers, and what is included in the tour price?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've taken a small selection of our top selling tours, so our most popular tours that are tried and tested over many years, and we've added solo departure dates to them. So there's some extras that we've added in for those solo departures. The first is a smaller group size. So on our normal tours, our maximum group size is 28. On our solo tours, it's going to be 18. We're also going to have a fantastic welcome drinks reception, a sort of icebreaker party, if you like, when people arrive, because people do arrive at different times on that first day. And normally the tour sort of starts on their second day because they're coming in on different flights, different parts of the country, for example. So we're going to have a welcome reception drink on that sort of first arrival day. They're all met at the airport as well by our guide and taken to their hotel. So that's also included. They're going to have a free airport lounge as well. So they can actually start their trip in fantastic luxury. And also with regards to getting to the airport in the UK, we say that normally that's the only thing Wendy Wu Tours don't do, but for our solo departures, we're going to offer a free private transfer for the first 50 miles. Anything over and above that, you'll pay the extra to the driver, and we can talk about that at the time of inquiry. So that's all of the added extras. They'll obviously get a single room, but it will be for a double occupancy room, but for single occupancy. So it's not just a small room either. And of course, it's really about traveling with like-minded travelers and other solo travelers. And the other beauty of these are all our classic tours. So that means all of your meals are included, and we have some fantastic meals, but also if a visa is required by a UK or European passport holder for any destinations that you wish to travel with Wendy Wu Tours, that's included in the price. and we have a visa department to help you, Jill, and your customers through that process.
That's very, very comprehensive. So basically, Joe, all they've got to do is pack a suitcase.
Yeah, basically, yeah. From the minute they arrive in destination, we take care of them from start to finish.
Yeah, excellent. That's really, really good. So you mentioned that it's a smaller group size, so about 18 people. So imagine I've arrived, I've freshened up, it's time for cocktails. I'm moving on down to the cocktail bar. What should I expect in terms of an average age range for a solo tour? I know it will depend on the destination, but what's your average age?
Well, our average age is 55. So that's across all of our tours. But there's a couple of things to consider. Generally, the longer the tour is, the older the clientele. So we have tours that range from 8 days right the way up to 25, 26 days. So generally you find those sort of month-long tours, it will be an older clientele because they've got the time. They're generally not working.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at me and probably yourself, Jill, as being the ideal customers for a solo tour with Wendy Wu Tours. So you're looking at really mid-50s to sort of early 60s. But really, as they say, I know it's a bit of a cliche that age is just a number. We've got some really, really sprightly, active 70-odd-year-olds that, you know, go hiking, walking, whatever, and you know, put me to shame at somebody 20 years younger than them. So really, I think it's about your attitude and your mentality more than anything else.
Yeah, sure. Brilliant. So one question that I have been asked, is there a time in the itineraries to have a little bit of time away from the group? So maybe you want to travel as the group, but you want to have explore yourself a little bit, have a little bit of time where you're just on your own. Do the itineraries allow for that?
Yeah, they do. So as an example, generally we might go to have a sort of city tour, for example, or you might go to a particular monument, and they'll say, right, okay, have some free time, wander around yourself. We'll meet back at this particular point at whatever time, another hour or so. So you do have that. And of course, then in the evenings, once you've had your evening meal, unless we're taking you to a show, for example, which we often do in the last sort of couple of days of a tour, we normally have a big show that we like to take people to. But unless you're doing something like that, then the evenings are free. So again, you can either just sort of go and relax in your hotel room, sit in the lobby, have a drink, go out if you wish to. And the beauty is that the guide will be with you. So if you want to ask some sort of tips of, oh, where could I go to do whatever of an evening, then the guide's there to give you that information and help you as well.
Perfect. So the hotels that you include in the itineraries, if I went out in the evening, are they generally in safe areas, so I wouldn't feel sort of unsafe going back in the dark, for instance?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we've worked with these hotels for quite a number of years. We have to say our quality of hotels is 3-star plus and /4-star, but predominantly it's 4-star. We only use a 3-star plus in some destinations where we're staying somewhere and there may not be an available 4-star. So it is predominantly 4-star hotels. So by that very nature, they're located in really good areas. They've got really helpful staff, and again, you've got the guide there to give you advice. So if he thinks that you shouldn't be going somewhere, he'll tell you, and he'll tell you the safe places to go, for example.
Good. Okay. So in the hotels, do the groups have their rooms allocated sort of in the same areas, or after dinner when everyone goes off to the room, is everyone going off in different directions, potentially being in a lift on their own, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it will depend on the size of the hotel, to be quite honest, but generally we'll try to put people, you know, in similar blocks, for example, if it's a big hotel, or on similar floors. But yeah, that will be subject to availability. It's not something where we, you know, will take a whole floor and make sure everybody's next to each other. But again, we are talking very, very safe hotels. We're talking really good quality. You're not staying in a 2-star back streets of Saigon, for example, bed and breakfast hostel. So I don't think it's particularly ever an issue for our clients, to be honest.
Great. So lots of meals are included in the tours, obviously depending on which one you pick. Do the group eat together, and what sort of places might they be eating in?
Yeah, so generally you'll have obviously your breakfast in the hotel. And again, because of the quality of hotels that we use, that'll be a big buffet breakfast. So that will be a mixture of Western style food, so freshly cooked omelets as an example. When I was in Japan, I had these amazing maple syrup pancakes. And so they'll have Western food as well as local food as well. Now, in some of the destinations, some of the things that they eat that would be fine for us to think about eating at lunchtime, for example, or in the evening, you might not want to eat for breakfast. I mean, I can't do noodles, for example, but in some destinations they will. And then for our lunch times and our evening meals, we go out to restaurants. So obviously during the day when you're touring around, they will be in various different places. All the food quality is excellent. And just while we're on the subject of food as well, we can cater for all dietary requirements. We just need to know, they need to inform you, Jill, at the point of booking, yes, I'm gluten-free or a celiac or whatever it may be. Vegan, for example, is becoming more and more popular. And that's one of the beauties of having the guide with you from start to finish. They book the restaurants, they tell the restaurants in advance, but just in case there is any chance of a miscommunication, the guide is there, they speak the local language, of course, and they're able to help straight away. So we can cater for all dietary requirements as well.
So less than adventurous eaters aren't going to starve then. I had a friend who went to Thailand and realised she didn't like the food and lived on chips for a fortnight. So they're able to get Western type food if that's their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is local food for lunches and dinners. But yeah, for us, it is all part of the experience, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the guide a few times then. Would the group have the same guide throughout the tour, or does it change, as they move through the itinerary, move through the different countries? Does the guide change also?
No, so what we do is we have a national guide who is with you from start to finish, which is fantastic because you get to know that person. We train them in a very specific way. So you're not standing somewhere for hours while they're telling you about the whole history of something. They will give you certain pieces of information, let you have time to explore yourself as well. But if you want to know more about a specific subject, then they're there and you can ask them. They do a lot of the what you're going to see on the coach as well. But it is great because you do build up a relationship. So unlike some other operators, we're not in this sort of Olympics relay kind of thing where you arrive somewhere, new guide, they're with you for a few hours, then you go somewhere else, new guide. The national guide will introduce you in certain areas to local guides to use their local expertise. But that national guide is with you from start to finish, travels everywhere with you. So if you're getting on a train journey, they're on the same train. They will eat with you in the evening, but they won't actually generally eat at the same tables as you. So they'll be in the same restaurant, but they probably won't actually eat with you. And that's just something that they do because, not because they want their own space, but it's just something that we think is better for the group to be eating together and they're just on hand.
Okay. Language barriers. So for instance, when I go on holiday, I do try and learn a little bit of the...
Oh, you're better than me, Jill.
Always try. But if I was doing a tour of, we'll move on to this Vietnam and Cambodia tour, it's different languages, different dialects. It's going to be very, very difficult to learn something before you go. So is the guide there to help with all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, again, the beauty of having a local guide. They obviously speak the languages fluently in the different dialects. They'd be more than happy to help you. But you also get a welcome booklet from us, which we send out pre-departure to you, which also has some key phrases in there as well, in the different languages. So yeah, it's always nice if you can try to learn a couple of things. I'm terrible at it personally. I just rely on the guide, and hand gestures always gets me somewhere.
There's great apps you can get on your phone as well for doing things.
Yes, apparently so.
So let's talk a little bit about Angkor to the Bay. I've been studying this itinerary, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I know it's one of your most popular tours. So especially with the free, it's an absolute bargain because it's starting at 2,990 for 17 days. It's a bargain. So tell me a little bit more about that tour and what are the sights that people will see and experience?
Yeah, I'll give you some of the top line highlights. I mean, this has been our most popular tour of Vietnam and Cambodia for many, many years. Now, we travel all across Southeast Asia, but without a shadow of a doubt, Vietnam and Cambodia is our most popular destination. And this really does encompass everything that you want to do. So you start off in Siem Reap in Cambodia, which is a fantastic destination. You can do some amazing shopping there, let me tell you. I've come back with loads of stuff from there. And it really is a great start. But of course, the area is you're really there for the temples of Angkor Wat, and they are absolutely stunning. And what we do, which a lot of other operators, again, don't do, and this is a really quite a unique experience. You see all the major temples, of course you do, but we take you out at sunset to Angkor Thom. So not Angkor Wat, Angkor Thom, which is a smaller, and it's got a moat, if you like, around it. And we go out at sunset on these small sampans, and you watch the sunset come down, and all you can hear, and there's not many people doing this, so it's not like it's full of tourists. All you can hear is the birds and the crickets and the sun, and I've got some amazing pictures on my phone of that. So that's an incredible experience. Then come down, you spend some time in the killing fields, of course, and you learn about that part of Cambodian history before then coming down into the Mekong Delta. We take you out on some small motorboats around the Mekong Delta, and then Saigon. And for me, and it depends on what you're interested in. I mean, I do love scenery and fantastic temples, but for me in Saigon, this is the highlight of the trip for me, because you learn so much about the Vietnam War, but from the Vietnamese point of view. And the excursion that we take you out to the Cu Chi tunnels and just seeing the booby traps and the underground tunnels and just learning a different perspective on that conflict and really getting a much better understanding of it was amazing. I also got to shoot one of their guns as well, which you can do on a firing range, that was an incredible experience for me. So that's absolutely wonderful. And then you start traveling up into North Vietnam. You go to a place called Hoi An, which is stunningly beautiful. And if anybody's listening to this and they want to buy a handmade, tailor-made suit, for example, or a dress, this is the place. They have 400 tailors there. For centuries, they've been renowned for their tailoring. And what they do in the evening, they have all of these beautiful, colourful lanterns, which they light up, and they float them along the river, which goes through the middle of Hoi An. Absolutely stunning. And then, of course, you come up to Hanoi. We take you on a cyclo tour around Hanoi. But the real highlight, obviously, here is what you can see in the background of me, which is Halong Bay. You spend a night on a cruise ship in Halong Bay. If you want to get up really early the next morning, we could do a Tai Chi lesson on the top deck at sunrise. I probably wouldn't get up that early personally, but you know, you can do that. And then we finish off this tour with in Hanoi with an absolutely stunning show. And when we take people to shows, it's a bit like going to Paris, I guess. I don't know if you've been, but you know, there's the Moulin Rouge. Then there's a couple of shows that are up there as a similar standard, but a bit cheaper. And then there's a lot of terrible French cabaret shows. We only take people to the best. So the quintessence of Tom Kin's show is incredible. It's done on water with pyrotechnics, singing, water puppetry. It's a really big, amazing show. I suggest anybody look it up if they've never heard of it. It's called The Quintessence of Tonkin, and what an amazing way to end your trip. So yeah, that's Anchor to the Bay, and there's great reasons why it's so popular with our clients. We've got so many departure dates for it because it just keeps selling out time and time again.
And as I said, that's a brilliant price at the moment with the free flights starting at 2,990. It's a steal, an absolute steal. So, well, thank you so much, Joe, for sharing all that with us.
You're welcome.
Just as a reminder to everyone, you can book one of the Wendy Wu Tours for only £99 deposit. Departure dates throughout 2021 and 2022. And the free flight offer ends on the 30th of November. There's also a flexible booking condition as well, in that you can do one free date change. So if your circumstances change or you want to put it back, you can do that without any charge. So it is a fantastic offer. So please give me a ring, get in touch, send me a message, and let's get you off on your travels with Wendy Wu Tours. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.